This is Joanne Wilson and Hattie Deneen with Steve Tonsor, Director of Science and Education.
Science and Research.
Science and Research at the Carnegie Museum of Natural History. And we've asked him to explain evolution at a 6th grade level. So Steve, you brought us to invertebrate zoology.
I did. If we look in any one of these frames, I just find it so fascinating to see the repetition of form and the variation in form. And if we look at any organism, plant, animal, mushroom, you name it, you can see that same combination of similarity in form, but with variation. And evolution depends on that. This variation is partly who got a good breakfast every day and who didn't. But part of it is because the code that they carry for making themselves in the world, for building themselves, varies a little bit from one beetle to another. And some of those variations mean they know how to get a good breakfast, and some of them, they aren't quite so good at it. And so the ones that have the variations that allow them to find food, find a mate, find shelter, those are the variations that survive and make offspring that are like them. And that's evolution. That's really all there is to it. And from that, we get these incredible creatures with these big horns in the front. We get these guys with their long legs. We get this amazing beauty as a side effect, really, you know. So evolution, in the way Darwin talked about it, is the phrase he used was descent with modification. What that means is we creatures have children. Those children are like us, but not identical to us. And because there is that variation that occurs generation to generation, some survive and have more offspring, and some don't. And so slowly through time, the forms that work best are, in a sense, chosen and lead to this variation that exquisitely adapts the creatures to their environment. We talk all the time about how these organisms have features that are for a particular purpose. And it really seems as though they're for a purpose. We have teeth for chewing, right? Maybe for smiling too. But we have teeth for chewing. But they're not really for chewing. Evolution doesn't work that way. It works because of, right? The teeth are there because they worked and they allowed us to eat and to have children as a result, right? And so evolution is not intentional. It's a remembrance of what happened in the past and what worked. And that keeps us from getting ourselves into kind of traps in the way we think about the process. And this is the most amazing thing to me about evolution. It happens simply because it can. And whatever could happen and worked persists. And isn't it a miracle that that results in such beauty and in human beings who come to understand each other and have a love for each other and for the world around them? I just find that truly miraculous.